The best show on talkSPORT is back.
I'm telling you, I've missed it.
Yeah,
I've missed it.
I'm not interested in Spurs. I want a new team, Cookie.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to continue to support Spurs because I have to. That's my team. But
You're a modern day supporter. Look at you.
I want the listeners to message in. I want, not the obvious one. I'm not Man City or anyone like that. Ipswich, that's a tap in for me because it's my local side. I want a non-league side where there's no pressure. I can go enjoy myself. This here, I booed. I booed in the office. I'm getting sick of it, to be honest.
I've got a seat for you. Come and join me on the Erik Ten Hag fun
no
bus.
chance.
It is a great journey to be on.
Never.
I can tell you.
Oh, my days. You know the maddest thing is, and it's crazy because I actually love everything Ten Hag's doing, but I know you're going to be smiling, so I kind of just, it's a conflict of interest with me. Look, we spoke at the beginning, and I was like, look, you can see just the energy. I'm very massive on energy. You know that about team spirit. And you can see that seeping through the Man United squad. You know, the way they set up. You can see it. Yeah. And you know those...
You love it, don't you? You love it.
I hate that it's Man United because you're smiling. But what I do love, and we talked about it off air, it's just you can see when, look, somebody's got a plan and... when all of a sudden, and I look at it when I think people like to look elsewhere and say, the reason why somebody's doing this is because of this, and literally a manager's come in and he's got a plan and he's implementing his plan and people are following his plan, and that's for me what you see more than anything in the Man United. So I'm not trying to big it up anymore because this guy, look at the smile on his face.
You know what? I'm going to throw it out there. It's early on in the year, and I hate myself for saying it. I like watching Arsenal play. And I'm a Spurs supporter. They're doing something right, Arsenal. We'll talk about Arsenal more, I know, at the end of the show. And do I like much watching Man United play at the moment? Yes, and I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Being a Spurs supporter, I'm jealous of United. I'm jealous of Arsenal.
I'm not too much of... I think Man United, and I'm not saying that it's any different, I think Man United, even when they were having success, very good on the counter-attack. And I think that's what it is now. I think when they have their most success is when teams kind of take it to them and they hit them blistering pace on the counter-attack. Yep. I actually, the same with you. I don't like to admit, I already know my best friends are Arsenal, but I watched Arsenal yesterday and I tweeted it and I was like, these are the real deal. And in a sense where they haven't got a soft underbelly, you know, anything gets thrown at them, they look, and it's fun. It's a fearlessness. It's a freedom. I don't like to say that. I only like to say that about my team, and I'm
exactly the same. And what I do is, being obviously a pundit. Look, first and foremost, I'm a Spurs supporter. No matter what, love, hate, whatever, how well they're doing, I'm a Spurs supporter. But I try to watch games, Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal, and I try and put my neutral head on. Liverpool, I try and put my neutral head on. And yesterday, the Arsenal game I enjoyed. Yeah. Odegaard's pass was sensational. And it's then becomes a jealousy. They're 13 points clear of Spurs, I think, in the league. And more fool me for thinking Spurs are going to be the team closer to the title than Arsenal this season. I mean, the way it's going at the moment, I'm so wrong, and it's grinding. It's eating me up inside.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I remember
at the
start of the season when Spurs fans were getting very excited about your signings, I think Jamie O'Hara came out on talkSPORT and said we've won the transfer window. I picked holes in a lot of those signings, and you look at the squad depth that Tottenham have got, it isn't there compared to the options that Liverpool have coming off their bench. Aston Villa's bench was stronger than Tottenham's today, and that is a massive concern.
85th minute, the Spurs brought on Skip and Jed Spence. I mean, that's not a team that's challenging for the top four. Jed Spence, we don't even know what he plays like. We've seen him at Nottingham Forest, of course, where he was good. Can't get a sniff. So to bring him on with 5 minutes to go along with Skip, that's not a team. And I like both those players, but that's not a team competing for top four. At the moment, Spurs are going to struggle.
They do have injuries. I think Kulusevski was forced to pull out quite late on today. No Benson Kerr is a massive loss. Richarlison as well. But
should a team that's competing for the top four, when they miss three of their top players, should they struggle as much as they did today? They shouldn't.
Are you talking about as in gameplay or as in squad depth?
Both.
Well, listen, but it's the same. I looked at Liverpool's bench the other day when they just beat Leicester, and we've got a lot of injuries. So I think sometimes squads, that just happens when you, and with the World Cup coming, it is indifferent. I get you more on the style of play, and I think that's been ongoing. And I've always been here saying, well, look, Tottenham were still third when they were saying, or still fourth, but that is what you're seeing. The results now are not going the way the gameplay, or it's just not going the way they want it to.
Yep. But this has been coming, isn't it? Because it's 7 times in a row now that Tottenham have conceded the first goal in their games. It's the 6th time in 7 games they've gone 2-0 behind. Now, they have managed to salvage some of those situations. Yeah. They got a point they probably didn't deserve at Brentford on Boxing Day. I've not been impressed with Tottenham all season, and we're sat here now.
Come on, Cookie. You must think second half of games you've been impressed. Second half. Some of the comebacks, the Leeds United comeback, it must have impressed you a little bit. Doesn't matter. It's the comebacks.
Teams they should be swatting aside.
That's impressive enough. And for teams to come back 2-0 down, win 3-2, even drawing 2-2, sometimes that's exciting. The Chelsea game, scoring in the last minute, that's exciting. But I agree with you. When it was 0-0 at half-time today, I said to Joe, the producer, I said, well, that's Spurs winning, because Spurs turn up in the second half, so Villa, they're struggling now. And they were even worse in the second half. And that mentality has to change. The Brentford, for me, I felt was a half-decent point. Seeing Brentford then went to West Ham and demolished West Ham, I thought, actually, that's a good point, going 2-0 down, coming back 2-2. Today, that's the worst I've seen Spurs play this season, and like I said, it's eating me up inside as a Spurs fan.
We should point out that the boos, I'm being told by people in the ground, weren't necessarily aimed at Basuma, who I didn't think had the best game, but it was because Emerson Royal was brought on as his replacement. Work to do then for Tottenham. They dropped out the top 4 this weekend, leapfrog by Manchester United, who are 2 points clear now of Spurs in 5th and have a game in hand.